Hey my creators, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Christy and this is Christi Creates. And if you're not new, welcome back. I want to say a quick thank you to Cricut for sponsoring a portion of today's video, and we will talk more about that in just a little bit. Today's video is the Chic for Cheap Craft Challenge for October. Today's co-host is Indie Annie Jones. So thank you, Annie, for joining me today. Make sure that after you watch my video, you go over to Annie's channel and check out what she made for you, because believe you me, it's going to be amazing. Also, make sure once you've watched my video and Annie's video, make sure to do those first. Then you go check out everybody on the playlist, because there will be a playlist. I will link it in my description box, and everyone should link it as well. And you can just go to that playlist and just watch every video all the way down through the list. Everybody always comes up with some super adorable stuff, so make sure you check everybody out. And while you're there, leave them a comment and let them know I sent you. Now I know you didn't come here to listen to me sing or watch me dance, so let's get crafting. Here's our first project. It's a Kirklands dupe, and theirs was $99. Mine ends up costing about $2, and it's much smaller, but you guys, it's so cute. So I got this gorgeous frame at Goodwill, and it was $1.91, and it was on the half price day. I just cleaned it up, so I took just an alcohol wipe, and I wiped it down really, really well. The wood, the glass, and all, it was really nasty, but it cleaned up just fine. And like I said, it's solid wood, so it's gonna last for years. And all I did was put a coat of paint on it, and it looks so pretty now. I actually have another one, so I'm excited to do something with it too. I may actually make some sort of a matching piece, and that way I can hang it up every year at Christmas in my home. So I just gave, like I said, a good coat of black Waverly chalk paint in the color black ink, you know. Just a little redundant, but it's fine. So here I'm taking some coffee. This was just something that I had in my pantry, and since it was in a little pack, I thought it would work good. So then I just put some hot water over the top of it and made just a little bit in the sink, just so I had some of that dark colored water. I'm going to put in a piece of just regular printer paper, and I'm going to let it soak for just a minute. I'm going to take it out, put it on a paper towel and kind of blot it, and then I put it in the oven on a super low temperature, like 150, just for like a minute or two to kind of dry it. Then I put it through my printer and just printed out a Silent Night hymn. I just Googled for that, and then I just printed off. Then I'm taking this transfer. It's just one of those rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree, and I'm getting out the wreath portion, and I'm going to transfer it on to the center, just kind of where I think it looks good. And this part, I do speed it up so you don't have to watch it in slow motion, but you just go over the entire thing, just rubbing it. You know, as it's called, a rub-on transfer, that's all you have to do. And once I feel like I have it all rubbed on, then I start pulling the film back. And if you pull it back slowly, you can see if there's any parts that weren't stuck down really well. And then you can just rub back over them, and you will never know that you missed any areas. And then once I get this all rubbed down on the one from Kirklands, it did have some little holly berries on it. So I took a colored pencil and just drew some over the top. And you guys, that's it. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then once I get those drawn on and get it all done, then I'm going to put it back in my frame and put the back on. And that's it. So super simple, and it's so pretty for Christmas. Like, such a cheap and easy piece to make, but it looks amazing in your home. And I do just tape the back on because, like I said, this was a Goodwill frame. I am going to go back and put some of the brown paper from Dollar Tree over the entire back. That's what was on it from the beginning, but I had to tear it off to be able to get to what was underneath. I just didn't think that you guys needed to watch me put the back on it. So if you do something like this, just finish the back and then it looks like you bought it at the store. What do you guys think? So I wanted to pop in really quick and ask you guys, okay, so I preserved my grandma's funeral flowers and I'm going to be doing some resin pieces with those. In those pieces, I'm going to be taking and making resin pieces that I will gift some of my family members for Christmas so that each and every one of us can have that little special thing in our home that reminds us of Grandma and that we can look at and touch and just remember how awesome of a person she was and how much we love and miss her. Would you guys be interested in watching me make those pieces? I have started on them, but they were kind of some trial pieces, like with a few of the flowers that didn't preserve as well. So I've been kind of playing with them to see how it goes, and what I've made so far I absolutely love, and I think you guys would enjoy watching it. But I wanted to ask, would you guys watch it? Would you be interested in watching? So let me know down in the comments below. Also, I have been making some cute little keychains. I'll show you. Let's see, which one do we want to choose? We will do this one right here. So they're like little shaker keychains. Don't look at my nails. My nails are not done, y'all. Don't judge. Mom was on the struggle bus. But anyways, here's what they look like. And you can move them around, and the little pieces, y'all, like I get mesmerized. I'm like, yes. And then I turned these pieces into little keychains. I added a little tassel, drilled a hole. Would you be interested in watching stuff like this as well? Because this is really quick and easy. And it's something that you could even do with your kids. Like you could let them pick out like what pieces they want to go inside. So let me know, would you be interested in watching that or any of the resin pieces where I'm taking the flowers and saving those so we can have that special little thing to look at every day? So let me know before you leave. Hold on, one thing I forgot. You know me, I'm an airhead, so I forget things. I'm sorry. I'm going to be customizing a pair of shoes and a purse strap, and it's going to be for one of our like football games that's, you know, our state, woo pig. Would you guys be interested in watching something like that? I'm going to, like I said, customize it and bling it out, and I'm going to be doing that later this week. So if you guys want to watch that, let me know. Make sure you leave a comment down below or a thumbs up or both. Excuse me. I'm going to be doing that this week, and so if you want to watch it, I will film that and put that video out there for you guys. So let me know. I wanted to hop on one more time and just say another quick thank you to Annie for being my co-host. Make sure you guys go check out her channel because she does amazing. She's literally an artist. Here is our next project. It's just this cute little centerpiece. I'm going to make my own version of it. So I got this basket at Hobby Lobby. It was $3.99 and it was actually 50% off that day. So it was only $2. I'm going to paint it also in the ink Waverly chalk paint. Of course, you can see our frame back there. I just did it all at the same time. You know, not having to get out the paint twice. Save time when you can. Alright, so I'm going to just give it a good coat of paint, and I paint the inside and the out. You wouldn't have to do that probably. And here I'm just taking some black paper and I'm just lining the inside, just so you can't see my floral foam when we get done with the project. Make it a little more high-end looking. I do glue this part in just so it stays, you know, up close against, and there's no gaps anywhere. And here I'm just taking some of the Dollar Tree floral foam and I'm just kind of piecing it in there so it's pretty solid. I kind of trim this up right here, and then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom just so it like stays in there really well. It's not going to fall apart on you, especially if you're going to be storing this with your Christmas items every year. You don't want it falling apart. So, and then here I have, like, these are just some leftover picks from last year. I couldn't find any picks this year at Walmart or Dollar Tree or Dollar General. None of mine have any of that stuff out yet. They have the Christmas trees out, but they don't have any of the picks. So I took the few that I had left from last year, or I guess the few that I had left that I could find, and I went ahead and put those in there first. Then what I did is, while I was at Walmart, they had, I think it was only like 2 or 3 different wreaths out. So I thought, okay, the wreaths, one of them was $2.88 and the other one was $9.88. The $2.88 one was just the cheap, it looks cheap, but I mean, it would work. You could use it as filler around these other picks. But the $9.88 wreath, it was actually really, really pretty. I'm going to show you both of them here in just a minute after I kind of play around with this. Like I said, I was trying to get the picks in there first, and then I started just cutting the wreath apart. So if you can't find any picks yet in any of the stores and you're wanting to start crafting, think about stuff like that. Like, think outside of the box. Like, can I take this $10 wreath and cut it up? And so, like, I was able to make that $9.88 wreath. I only used about a third of it, so about $3 worth or so, and it filled in all of the pieces here, and it looked so pretty, you guys. So just think about that. So here's the $2.88 wreath, and as you can see, it's just kind of a cheap looking wreath, but it would work. You can just cut off those, or you can actually unwind it and it'll kind of come apart. But here's the one that was $9.88. So it had some of those cheaper pieces, but they were flocked. But then it also had some of these like really wispy, beautiful pieces in there. So you can see that part in my right hand right there. I'm putting it in right now. It had those pieces, which those look super high end. So I was able to fill in and make it look really full and pretty. And here I'm going to leave this in just kind of so you can see, but I just kind of fill in with all of those little pieces off of that wreath. And then I even take some of the garland ties from Dollar Tree. I did find a package of those in my storage unit, and I kind of fold it over and just kind of cover the floral foam, and that way you don't see it and you're not having to completely fill in the crate. Like, you can kind of leave it not so full but cover up that floral foam, if that makes sense. And then I go in with some of this, it's like a mesh tubing, and they have it at Dollar Tree. And I just kind of cut off a few small pieces and take one of those garland ties and tie it around the bottom. And then you can stick it in there and use it as filler, and it just kind of gives a little more texture and a little more movement. So it just adds something to your arrangement and makes it look a little more high-end. And you just keep filling in and filling in, and you know, you can make little bows with that stuff, and like I said, you can add in some ornaments, you can add in pine cones, just add whatever like makes your heart happy. Like, what is it going to make you happy to look at? And so I just kind of, like I said, picked through the stuff that I could find that I had left over from last year, stuff that wasn't even necessarily in my Christmas, like this red ribbon, and all of that. I mean, I always decorate with red, so I was like, yes, let's just fill in. And then I just kept adding some of that flocked greenery. And you guys, it turns out so pretty, and it didn't cost me that much to make. But had you went to a store and bought a centerpiece like this, it would have been easily, even at Walmart, $50, because I have looked and looked and looked. So here I made a little bow on the front. I took a little bell and hung it on there. And you guys, how cute is this? And it's so simple. It took me maybe 10 minutes to make, and it's so pretty and so simple. On to the next project. How cute is this little Merry Christmas sign? Which this one is $26.99 at Kirklands, but it is much smaller than the one I make. So I found this at a garage sale for $2. It's just a huge wood sign. Somebody made it on their own, you could definitely tell. But, I mean, there was nothing wrong with it. It had a wood frame. The back part of it was wood. It was solid wood. So I thought, we're going to kind of wipe it off a little because it was dirty. And I liked the gray frame that it had on it, so I went ahead and left that. I just painted the center portion, and so because there was the lettering on it, instead of having to sand it, I just did 2 super thick coats of chiffon chalk paint. I believe it's Rust-Oleum. Yeah, Rust-Oleum. Chiffon is the color. It's kind of a creamy white. And I just did 2 thick coats and made sure to let it dry completely in between the 2 coats, and it covered it just fine. You can't see any of the lettering once I get done, so you don't always have to sand something. Now, if you want to make 100% for sure that you don't see any of the lettering in the background, you could sand it, but like I said, your girl wasn't feeling it, so we just painted. And I do speed up most of these portions that I think you can kind of see what I'm doing and not have to watch it, you know, in real time. So I tried to speed it up as much as possible. Sorry, today's video is a little bit longer than normal, but hey, I did give you 4 projects today, so. Here I'm using the Oracal stencil vinyl, and I just found 2 fonts that I thought went well together. It wasn't exactly like the Kirklands project. I just kind of did something that I thought looked good. So you do, like I said, what makes your eyes happy, because it's going to be in your home. So I'm just going to stick it down. I just kind of eyeball it, and since the bottom part I hadn't cut, I knew that was a straight line, so I just kind of lined it up against the bottom there. And here I do speed this up a lot, so I'm taking my time and making sure to pull that back, and then I do go around every single solitary letter with my little scraper and make sure the edge is pushed down. That is super duper important. Sorry, my head is in the way. But just make sure everything is pushed down really good. That way you don't have any bleeding underneath when you do your painting. For all of my lettering and my stripes, I'm using Crimson crimson in the Waverly chalk paint. And I'm just being very careful. I'm making sure to not get a super lot amount. I can't talk today. I can't talk, can I? I'm not getting like a huge amount on my brush each time. It's better to go in with a lighter hand, and that way you don't have any of that bleeding. And here I eyeballed this. I'm just praying like a little sweet baby Jesus, please make sure my lines are straight. Luckily they turned out okay. So you could actually, like, you know, measure and all of that, but ain't nobody got time for that, right? So I'm just kind of making sure that it looks like it's got a good coat, and then I go ahead and take my paint off. I do kind of dry it just a little bit before I stick this down. And I, in all honesty, should have waited just a little while. It does kind of pull up that red paint that I had just painted, but I just kind of touch it up. So if you have time to wait, I would wait just a little while before you put the tape down on top of it. But, you know, like I said, ain't nobody got time for that, right? So here's where I'm kind of touching up where it pulled back. It didn't pull back too bad, so. And after looking at this for a day or two, I may actually go in and add a couple more stripes just because I feel it's a little plain. This is what the Kirklands one looked like, but I may go in and add a little more just because that is what's going to make my eyes happy. And there I did go back in with another coat over the letters because when I started to pull that first edge back, it was a little splotchy looking, and I just wasn't feeling it, so I'm like, oh, we need some more paint. And like I said, I did leave this in so you guys could see, like, and this is very, very, very sped up. So, just FYI. What do you guys think? I thought it turned out so cute for $2 when theirs was way, way, way more than that. Super cute and such a huge statement piece at Christmas time. So make sure you're checking out the garage sales. You guys, how cute is this little stocking hanger? And I thought, I mean, it kind of looks about like the size of a Dollar Tree sign, right? So that's what we're gonna use. Dollar Tree, Dollar Tree, Dollar Tree. So I'm gonna take out the little hanger, and I'm not going to do anything to the front part of the sign. I'm just going to flip it over and paint the back. So I'm going to give it a coat of white chalk paint. And my chalk paint was like super duper thick, so it was taking forever to paint. So I was like, you know what, I'm not going to make y'all watch this. You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to try to show you really quickly how to use your Cricut. It's super easy. So you are going to go over here, and we're just going to click on text. And in the text box, we are going to type the stockings were hung. So there it is, and we're going to make it bigger. So you can make it bigger by simply pulling this little arrow right here, or you can also go up here, and we're wanting ours at 18 inches. So I'm just going to put 18, hit enter, and that's it. Now we're going to go over here and click make it. We want to make sure that we're on the Maker 3. Now it's going to take us here. We are going to cut without the mat, but you can also use the mat if you want. And we're just making sure it looks good. We don't need to mirror it since it's actually going to be stuck on. And then down here in the corner, we're going to click continue. It will take us to this screen. You want to make sure that up here it says Maker 3 or whatever machine you are using. And then once we don't want to accept any of our gifts right now. I will do that later. And now it's going to go over here and let you choose which kind of vinyl. We are going to use the Smart Vinyl in permanent. And so once you are done there, then you go over to your machine and your light will be flashing and you will put your vinyl in. There is where the light is flashing, and I can't do this with one hand, but you're going to slide your vinyl in here and then this light right here will start flashing and you will push that button and then it will cut for you, and I'll show you that next. Now that I've got it all cut out, I'm going to weed it. So I'm going to take my little sharp tool there and I'm going to pull all of the excess back, and then I'm going to pull all of the centers out of any of the letters that have, you know, like the E's and the R's and the G's and all of that. Pull all of those out, and then we will get our transfer paper out. You can also use clear contact paper from the Dollar Tree. Lately I've been using this Cricut one and I actually really like it. But yeah, you just take it off of the backing and then you're going to stick it down as flat as possible, and then you're going to take some sort of a flat object and burnish it. This is the Cricut burnisher tool. I usually go over the back as well one time before I pull it off, and make sure you do this part slow and kind of fold it back on itself. I did end up tearing one of these letters, but I was able to stick it down and you can't tell, but I was trying to hurry, and that's what I get for being in a hurry, right? And now I'm going to flip it over. And I know right now it looks like it's not centered and it's way too high, but we're going to put some hooks at the bottom. And because there's holes in the left side from it being a Dollar Tree sign, I'm going to cover that with some greenery. So that's why I put it where I did. I'm just making sure to push all the letters down really well so they're good and stuck. And then I'm going to take these hooks. I believe I got these at Lowe's a long time ago. I mean, you can get them at Walmart. You might even be able to find them at the Dollar Tree. They come with screws for you to be able to put them in the wall. Because I'm using a Dollar Tree sign, they were way too long. So I'm going to start off by marking where my holes need to be. And here I'm just taking this Cricut tool because it's really sharp on the end. I'm just kind of scratching the top coat of my paint there so that I can see where the holes need to be. And then I'm going to go in with my Dremel. You could also use like a crocodile or just a regular drill, whatever you wanted to, and make a hole. So I go ahead and drill out all of the holes, and then because like I said our screws are way too long, I'm actually going to use zip ties to hold them on. So I had black zip ties, and because I used black on the black hooks, you can't even tell that they're on there with a zip tie. Like, you can't tell. It looks really, really good. It looks sleek and finished, and no one would ever know unless you told them. So that's our little secret. Just make sure though, like I said, if you use the white or clear, they're not really clear, they're more white, zip ties. You'll probably have to go over it with a little bit of paint. And here I realized after a minute, I'm like, oh, not even in the frame. Nice. Awesome. Thanks. So I put it in the back, up through the front, and then through the hook, and then back around the other side, and then fasten it in the back. And here I go ahead and leave this on so you can see me do it over and over, so that if you didn't see it the first time, maybe you can see it one of these other times. And you can always slow down your YouTube videos if you need to. There is a place on YouTube that allows you to slow it down like half the speed and stuff. So here I'm taking some more of that greenery from my little wreath that I bought. And I just took 2 of those prettier, more high-end pieces. And I'm tying some jute around the top just to kind of tie them together. And then I add this little bell on there. And then I take some more of that mesh tubing from Dollar Tree and make like a tiny little bow and tie it in on the string as well. And then I just attach that on there, and you guys, another super cute, super simple, way less money than the original from Kirklands. What do you think? Of course, I put little mini stockings on right now because I don't know where my big stockings are, but it's so cute. Even if you use this for like your dogs or whatever, so cute. Thank you guys so much for stopping by today. Make sure before you leave that you give it a thumbs up if you liked what I showed you today. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys have been up to. Tell me how much you've missed me. One of these days I will get back together. Maybe. Probably not. But I am so sorry I've been MIA lately. There's just, life happens, and life has been super busy. So I'm so sorry. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And like I said, make sure that you leave me a comment down below and go check out the playlist. And until next time.